warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shazwan bin Muhammad Rashid. My metric card number is AP190245. In this video, I will explain the introduction. Ratio analysis involves method of calculating and interpreting financial ratio to analyze and monitor the firm performance. According to Jonathan Golin, he agreed that ratio is a number described in a pattern that is compared to other pattern and expressed as a percentage. The first ratio is the liquidity ratio, which consists of current ratio and quick ratio. Current ratio is used to measure a company's ability to pay off all short-term debt, which a year, while quick ratio is an indicator of a company's short-term liquidity position and measure a company's ability to make short-term obligation with its most liquid assets. The second is the activity ratio, which consists of inventory turnover, average collection period, average payment ratio, and total asset turnover. Inventory turnover is a ratio that shows how many companies sell and replace inventory in a given period. The average collection period is the amount of time it takes for a business to receive payment due by its customer in terms of account receivable. Average payment period is a ratio that measures the average number of days a business needs to pay its vendor for purchases made on credit. Total asset turnover can be used as an indicator of a company's efficiency in using its asset to generate revenue. The third is the debt ratio, which consists of debt ratio, debt to equity, time interest earned ratio, and fixed payment coverage ratio. Debt ratio that measure the extent of a company leverage and can be interpreted as part of a company debt finance assets. Debt to equity is used to evaluate a company financial leverage. Time interest earned ratio is a measure of a company's ability to meet its debt obligation based on current income. Fixed payment coverage ratio measure a firm's ability to cover its fixed charge such as debt repayment, interest expense, and equipment rental expense. Next is the profitability ratio, which consists of gross profit margin, operating profit margin, net profit margin, earning per share, return on total asset, and return on equity. Gross profit margin is a metric used by analysts to assess a company's financial health by calculating the amount of money left over from the sale of product after reducing the cost of goods sold. Operating profit margin is the ratio or profit or performance that reflects the percentage of profit the company makes from its operation before deducting tax and interest charge. The profit margin reflects how much revenue per dollar the company translate into profit. Earning per share is a figure generated from the company profit divided by ordinary shares that have not been explained, serve as an indicator of the company's profit. Return on total assets is the ratio that measures the company pre-interest and tax income, EBIT, compared to its total net asset. Return on equity is considered a measure of a company profit in relation to shareholder equity. The last is the market ratio. The market ratio relates the market value of a company as measured by its current share price to a particular accounting value. However, in this assignment, the market ratio is not used because no data is shown in the financial analysis of the three companies. We have employed three companies comprising the food industry. The three companies are Hapseng Industri Berhad, Coquelin Holding Berhad, and Huatai Industri Berhad. Hapseng is one of the leading and established biscuit manufacturer in Malaysia. The group is engaged in the manufacture and sale of biscuit, beverage, and confectionery food items with manufacturing facilities located in Batu Pahat and Senai in Johor. Coquelin Industri Berhad, located in Rawang and Kepong Selangor Darul Ehsan, is the main branch of Coquelin Holding Group, which produce mainly chocolate, hard candy, fruit candy, cake, wafer, snacks, and beverage. Huatai is one of the produce of biscuit and other side dish.
Okay, next we are going to make a comparison ratio between three companies from 2017 till 2018. 19. So basically we have the Hapseng company, Watai company and Cocoland. So we are going to explain for the first liquidity ratio, which is its current ratio. So basically from this graph, it shows from the three companies we can see that the company Cocoland Holding Berhad has the biggest number than the others company. Show that the current ratio for 2017 is from 5.05 decrease to 4.58 in 2018, but increased back to 4.95 in 2009. The difference between this company is Cocoland has the biggest current ratio compared to Watai and Hapseng. What can be explained from here? If the current liability exceeds the current asset, the current ratio will be less than 1, and the current ratio of less than 1 indicates the company may have a trouble meeting in short-term obligation. So, however, some type of business can operate with less than 1 ratio. If the inventory turn into cash faster than account to be paid, then the current ratio of the company can be more comfortably remain less than 1. Inventories are valued at the cost of acquiring them, and the company intend to sell inventories more than this cost. The second one is quit ratio. So we can see from the three companies, we can see that the company Cocoland Holding Berhad has the biggest number than the others company. The normal liquid ratio is considered to be 1:1, and the companies with the fast ratio of less than 1 are currently unable to fully pay current liabilities. Then the quit ratio is similar to the current ratio, but it provides a more conservative assessment of this firm liquidity position, because this does not include inventory which not considered liquid enough. From the graph, we show that the quit ratio for Cocoland show the quit asset is fluctuating years by years from the 4.00 in 2017, 3.65 in 2018, and 4.04 in 2019. We can see the percentage more better than the others company lah. For the next one, we look in activity ratio, which is the inventory turnover. In this ratio, inventory turnover is the ratio that indicates how many times a company tells and replaces inventory in a given period of time. So the company can then divide the day in time by the inventory acquisition, formula to calculate the day it takes to sell the inventory. In the graph, the inventory turn ratio for Cocoland company show the best number than the others two companies. It shows that the inventory turnover is fluctuating year by year from 11.339 in 2017, 11.12 in 2018, and 11.19 in 2019. What can be explained from this ratio? A good inventory turnover ratio is between 5 and 10 for most industry, which is indicate that you sell and restock your inventory every 1 till 2 months. So the best inventory turnover among these three companies is Hapseng, because they can sell and restock their inventory every 1 till 2 months. But if we can see from this graph, the Cocoland make more stabilized performance than the Hapseng, because number is much greater than the Hapseng.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Shukri bin Muhammad Rusdi, matrix number AP190159. I would like to continue this presentation. Okay, I will cover the ratio, average payment period, total asset turnover, debt ratio, and debt to equity ratio. First of all, average payment period. From the graph, it shows that an average payment period for Hap Seng Industries Berhad is unstable because the graph fluctuating from 2017 until 2019. The graph in 2017 is 148.48 days, 2018 is 130.14 days, and 2019 is 135.47 days. Meanwhile, Watai Industries Berhad and Kokolan Berhad shows that the average payment period also fluctuating year by year. And average payment period Watai Industries Berhad is 227.05 days for 2017, 185.09 days for 2018, and 197.05 days for 2019. While for Coquelan Holding Berhad is 45.48 days for 2017, 52.58 days for 2018, and 43.458 days for 2019. The next is total asset turnover. From the graph, it shows the total asset turnover for Hap Seng Industries Berhad is increased from 2017 until 2019. The graph in 2017 is 1.23, 2018 is 1.34, and 2019 is 1.32. Meanwhile, Huatai Industries Berhad shows that the average payment period fluctuating year by year, but Cocoland Holding Berhad is decreased year by year. The total asset turnover Huatai Industries Berhad is 1.06 for 2017, 1.12 for 2018, and 1.11 for the 2019. For the Cocoland Holding Berhad is 1.82 for 2017, 1.80 for 2018, and 1.73 for 2019. Next is debt ratio. From the graph, it shows the debt ratio for the Upsang Industries Berhad is increased from 2017 until 2019. The graph in 2017 is 0.32, 2018 is 0.33, and 2019 is 0.35. Meanwhile, Huatai Industries Berhad shows that the debt ratio increased year by year, but Cocoland Holding Berhad is fluctuating year by year. The debt ratio Huatai Industries Berhad is 0.54 for 2017, 0.57 for 2018, and 0.52 for 2019. For the Cocoland Holding Berhad is 0.15 for the 2017, 0.16 for 2018, and 0.15 for 2019. Next is debt to equity ratio. From the graph, the debt to equity ratio for the three company is fluctuating for 3 years. Hapseng is 99% decreased to 98% in 2018 and increased to 103% in 2019. For Watai in 2017 is 116% decreased to 111% in 2018 and increased to 121% in 2019. For the Cocoland in 2017 is 33.65% increased to 35.65% in 2018. For 2019, it decreased to 34.44%.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syarul Muhammad Yusuf. Today I want to talk about debt ratio. Debt ratio show the company has loan at its bottom because it is indicate the relationship between the company total debt and asset. So this ratio measure the ability to handle the debt of the company. It also indicate what proportion of company financing asset is from debt. If the ratio is lower, so it means better, but if the ratio higher, so it is at a risk condition. From the graph, we can see that Cocoland has the smallest amount of debt ratio. In 2017, Cocoland amount is 0.15, increased to 0.16 to in 2018 and 0.15 in 2019. We can see that the company Cocoland Holding Berhad is more better than other companies because it has a lower debt ratio. So it is clearly show the company has a good performance because strive to overcome the debt of company. Next, I want to talk about debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio is calculated by dividing the total liability of the company with the equity of shareholder. This number appears on the balance sheet of the company financial statement. Because debt is risky, lender and investment tend to choose business with a lower debt to equity ratio. For lender, a lower means low risk of loan failure. For shareholder, this means the possibility of reduction in bankruptcy is the event of the company downturn. In the graph, we can see clearly that Cocoland has the lowest debt to equity ratio. In 2017, Cocoland stayed at 33.65%, increased to 35.65% in 2018 and decreased to 34.44% in 2019. It is clearly that from these three companies that Cocoland has the better debt to equity ratio. The next slide that I will explain is time interest earned. Time interest earned ratio is a measure of a company's ability to meet debt obligation based on current income earned. On the graph, we can see that Hapseng Industri Sdn Bhd has the biggest time interest earned. Time interest earned for Hapseng Sdn Bhd was at 17.65 in 2017, then increased to 18.61 and increased again in 2019 to 20.554. From the data obtained from the three companies, it can be concluded that Hapseng company show a consistent increase from 2017 to 2019. This shows that this company has enough cash after paying its debt to continue investing in business.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hazim bin Muhammad Zaki. Today I want to present about the gross profit margin, operating profit margin and net profit margin. My group has selected three companies in Malaysia for comparison in 2017 until 2019. His company is Uthm Industri Berhad, Huatai Industri Berhad and Cocoland Holding Industri Berhad. The first ratio I want to explain is gross profit margin, where the three companies show different pattern. Uthm Industri Berhad company showed a decrease in 2017 to 2019 from 0.38% to 0.36% in 2018 and 0.34% in 2019. Furthermore, Huatai Industry companies show a decrease in 2018 from 0.48% to 0.39% and increased to 0.40% on 2019. Lastly, for Cocoland Holding Company showed a decrease in 2018 that is from 0.29% to 0.27%, then increased to 0.29% in 2019. Of the three companies, the highest percentage is the percentage of gross profit margin generated by Huatai Industri Holding Berhad. Companies with large gross profit margin means that the company is more efficient in terms of management and also the products served are more profitable than companies with smaller gross profit margin. The second ratio I want to explain is operating profit margin. These three companies show a change that is increase and decrease, where Uthm Industri Berhad company show a consecutive decrease from 2017 to 2019. In 2017 is 0.20%, decreased to 0.19% in 2018, then decreased again to 0.18% in 2019. Furthermore, for Huatai Industri Berhad company showed an increase from 2017 to 2018, where in 2017 it was 0.05% and in 2018 it was 0.07% but decreased in 2019 to 0.05%. finally, for the Coquelin Holding Berhad in 2017 is 0.17%, decreased to 0.16% in 2018, then increased to 0.19% in 2019. The company that showed the highest operating profit margin is Coquelin Holding Berhad. Operating margin that show improvement can be formulated that the company can manage its costs as well as show their financial efficiency and stability. In addition, the company is also more competitive because the company can offer lower prices compared to competing companies. Ratio I want to explain is net profit margin. Net profit margin for these three companies show different patterns. For Uthm Industri Berhad company showed a decrease in 2018, that is in 2017 is 0.28% to 0.25% and decreased again to 0.23% in 2019, while for Uthm Industri Berhad company showed an increase in 2017 until 2019, where in 2017 it was 0.04% to 0.12%, then increased to 0.17% in 2019. Finally, for Coquelin Holding Berhad Limited company also showed an increase from 2017 to 2019, which is 2017 is 0.17% increased to 0.42% in 2018 and increased further in 2019 to 0.46%. Among this company, Coquelin Holding Berhad showed the highest percentage in 2018 and also 2019, although at now 2017 the lowest percentage. Here it can be concluded that Coquelin Holdings Berhad has shown the ability to generate profit and may have considered several scenarios such as increased expenditure, which is considered ineffective. It is widely used in the financial modeling and evaluation of the company.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hairuddin bin Masri. I will continue explain about earning per share, ratio on total asset and ratio on equity. Earning per share, from the graph we can see that among the three companies, the company's Coquelin is more better than other companies. The percentage earning per share of Coquelin is 40.65% on 2017, 13.52% of 2018 and 15.62 in 2019. The highest of earning per share in company Coquelin will show that the company have many investors to buy the shares and it can be profit for a company. Return on total asset. From the graph, we can see that among the three companies, the company's Coquelin is more better than others company, which is Huatai and Hapsang. The percentage return on total asset of Coquelin is 0.41% in 2017, 0.38% in 2018, and 0.40% in 2019. On the graph show that the percentage Coquelin is higher than other companies. The highest of return on total asset in company Coquelin will show of how effective the company Coquelin is in converting the money it invests into net income. Lastly, return on equity. From the graph, we can see that among the three companies, the company's Coquelin is more better than other companies. The percentage return on equity of Coquelin is in 2017 is 92%, in 2018 is 81%, and in 2019 is 91%. On the graph, we can see that the graph show that the percentage Coquelin is higher than other companies. The highest of return on equity in company Coquelin will show of how effective management is at using equity financing to fund operation and grow the companies. Thank you.
Overall, from the analysis conducted on all three companies, Coquelin Holding Berhad Company is the best company. Finding from the analysis conduct, Coquelin Company dominates to 4 ratio, namely liquidity ratio, activity ratio, debt ratio and profitability ratio. For market ratio analysis, the company we have studied does not provide information regarding the data needs to be obtained.